St. Kitts and Nevis, it's time to celebrate! We're raising our glasses and saying cheers to 20 years as your trusted telecommunications provider. And because we love our amazing customers, we're giving you the chance to win. Every week, we've got exciting prizes just for you. And that's not all. Step into a cash vault for a shot at $2,000 in cash. To qualify, switch to Digicel, activate a 3-day plan or higher, pay your bill in full, sign up for postpaid or a new Digicel Plus internet package. Stay connected, keep enjoying the best service, and get ready to win. 20 years strong, and we're just getting started. Visit a Digicel retail store today.
Don't throw those bottles away. Turn them into money today. Vitamalt bottles equal cash in your pocket. It's super easy. Just take those empty Vitamalt bottles to any Cara Brewery distribution truck or any drinks depot in St. Kitts and Nevis. We're keeping our beautiful Twin Island paradise clean. Vitamalt bottles equal cash back. Keep it clean, keep it green. Vitamalt bottle returns. Your bottles, your cash, your island.
If you need protection, you need one who you can trust. To secure your investment, you need one who'll do you just. TDC Insurance, you're the one that you can trust. TDC Insurance, you're always safe with us.
TDC Insurance is your go-to insurance company for all your insurance needs. We take pride in offering you the best solutions and ensuring our customers are fully satisfied. TDC Insurance, we take good care of you, guaranteeing you peace of mind.
You're always safe with us.
This Independence, Hosford is your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-stop shop. 1. Furniture and appliances. Make your home shine. 2. Building and Nevis Centers. Build it strong, build it right. 3. Ashley Furniture Home Store. Style it up with flair. 4. Auto spares and accessories. Keep your ride moving smooth. 5. Builder's Paradise. All your hardware dreams in one stop. And here's the kicker. For 3 days only, September 17th, 18th, and 20th, get a massive 25% off store-wide on all discountable items. So this Independence, don't just shop. Celebrate freedom and savings at Hosford's. Your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-stop shop. Hosford! Celebrate freedom! Celebrate savings!
Let's stop child sexual abuse. The age of consent is 16, yet our 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, and 10-year-olds are becoming victims of sexual abuse and exploitation, which is being forced into sexual activity before they are old enough to decide. This causes mental, emotional, and physical harm to our children. Parents, it is your responsibility to protect and to educate your children. Develop a relationship of trust with your child. If they trust you, they will tell you. Child sexual abuse cannot be our norm. We must work together to correct this. Help us prevent, help us protect, help us prosecute. A message by the Department of Probation and Child Protection Services. Contact us at 467-1311 or 662-6833 for more information.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea only on Win Media 98.9.
Good morning, and how are we doing this morning? It is Thursday. It is the 11th of September, and we know what this means for the folks in the U.S., so continued empathies and condolences to you as you commemorate, you remember, you do as you do all the activities that you normally do for September 11th. We know what happened on September 11, 2001, and it's etched in our memories forever, whether we were little kids, teenagers, adults. We will always remember September 11th. So once again, empathies and sympathies to the folks over there in the U.S. It's just about 10 minutes after the hour of 8. To the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, good morning once again. To the regional and international diaspora, good morning. Just to remind you, we are on WinFM 98.9 on your FM dial. We're being simulcast on TVC Channel 40, Facebook, as well as YouTube. Just to remind you of our numbers. If you wish to bring something to the fore or joining on the conversation, in the UK, it's 0333-440065. In the US, 1-718-285-6984 or 1-305-921-4619 or 466. That's our local number, 0989. Quint, good morning. How are you doing today?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Trying to be plenty better than yesterday, but we see yesterday too that violence had an individual in the U.S. He was doing a campus event. That's Mr. Charles James Kirk, known as Charlie Kirk. He was assassinated while talking about gun violence and in the U.S. But a question was asked of him before he was shot, and that's so sad. I empathize with his family. He has 2 young kids. I empathize with those as well, their friends and whomever else is part of his organization. It says Charlie Kirk was answering a question about the number of mass shooters in America and the role of gang violence when he was shot. An audience member asked, do you know how many transgender Americans, he's against that, right? He's into conservatism, he's into Trumpism. How many transgender Americans have been mass shooters over the last 10 years, to which Kirk responded, too many. He was then asked how many mass shooters there had been in America at the time, and his reply of counting or not counting gang violence was followed by the sound of a gunshot. The incident occurred on Wednesday at the Utah Valley University in Utah, where Kirk was holding a campus event as part of his American Comeback Tour. He was seated outdoors when a single gunshot was fired from what eyewitnesses and authorities believe was a nearby building roof. Kirk was taken to a hospital where he died from his injuries. And what I just read, you can find it on Google, and what I put in was, what question was he asking when he got shot? That sounded like a high-powered rifle from just the sound alone, and it seemed like it traveled with, oh my gosh, because I just saw there's video on the World Wide Web showing how it just entered and he just keeled this way. That hit hard, and it's sad. I know we're all entitled to our own opinions, and that's what I love about us in the Caribbean. You hardly ever hear anybody running up on a politician. They're gonna talk, but nobody has intentions to hurt or do any politician anything. Or if they try, they're normally stopped. But I hardly ever hear that happening here. And we know gun violence is a thing in the U.S. We hope that won't be the case, but it's a thing in the U.S. You have nothing to say? Quinn says he has absolutely nothing to say. As we continue along on our local seed, so nothing even to say about September 11th?
I'm not sure about September 11th. I know people died, but I don't. I'm not too sure about it, so I'm not going to touch that. Really.
Okay, I'm not going to ask you any more questions as it pertains to that.
We have a caller.
Okay, caller. Good morning. You're live on Island T.
Good morning to everybody, and greetings once more in Jesus Christ's name, the only Savior of sinners from the sins and from hell, and the second person of the eternal Trinity. Now, I would like to send my condolences and sympathies to the Lawrence family, Edmund Lawrence family, and to his friends and associates as well. As you mentioned the Charlie Kirk thing, that came to mind. I was to mention it before, but I keep on forgetting to mention it even yesterday. Yes, so that is what I would like to say. No, that is one stuff that I would like to say. Secondly, what I would like to say, as usual, we need to become a republic and get out the British Commonwealth as quickly as possible, and the quicker the better. I would like to correct something on Africa's part, because recently he said, concerning it, I was somewhat dishonest. No, and I want to do it as quickly as possible, so I don't take up too much time. No, Africa said and accused me of some dishonesty, in that when I said the North Africans went in Europe and raided Europe, the coastal region especially, and brought back slaves to Africa. He said that I forgot to say that there were Arabs. There were Arab people who did that when they conquered North Africa. Well, the truth of the matter is this. The truth of the matter is this. In the 15th, 16th, and 17th centuries, that is in the 1400s, 1500s, and 1600s, it was the Berber people, especially, and who ruled most of North Africa, if not all of North Africa. They went in to Europe and took white people as slaves, Europeans as slaves, and brought them back to North Africa. The Berber people, not the Moors I was talking about, the Berber people. And the Berber people are indigenous to North Africa. And the Berber people are people of all kind of skin shades, black, white, and in between. And they are all indigenous to Africa. So yes, you do have white people who are indigenous to Africa, as well as black people, just like the black people and the and others in between as well. So the Berber people have a history. All of them have a history, even in Africa, even before the Europeans and Arabs went into Africa. So Africa ought to know better. He ought to know the history of the Berber people as well, and their enslavement of Europeans when they went into Europe to enslave Africans. And lastly, quickly, I would like to say, the issue of Friars Bay. What I would like to know, even though, yes, the AG said that the land belongs to private, I would like to know if the government even attempted to even negotiate anything with the developers or the owners, so that something favorable could be achieved for the people who were already doing business there. Yes, I understand, provided what the Attorney General said is true, because, I'm very, very slow to believe any government, very slow to believe them. But provided what the Attorney General said is true, if they do any sort of attempt to negotiate to get a deal in favor of the people who are doing business on the beach area.
Let me ask, what kind of deal would you hope that the government would negotiate to help the persons that are already there? Because remember, it was also mentioned that persons are not supposed to do ply their trade on the beach itself. And we've seen several reports where they say they're going to survey. And once it comes back that they're not on the person's land, they're not going to move. So what do you think the government can do to help these establishments?
Well, provided what the government is saying is true, and I qualify my words, provided what the government is saying is true, because like I said, I don't really trust the government. Government are the biggest liars around the world, including here in the Caribbean, including here in St. Kitts. Maybe what the government probably could have attempted to negotiate is if these people could let the local people do business in the area, if they want the people to upgrade their business structures, okay, that could be a part of the negotiation. that sort of stuff. They have the degrees. I don't have any degrees, and if I could imagine, if I could come up with this, obviously they could come up with a lot better in negotiation. Obviously, like I say, if once provided they're saying it is true that the land is private land, then yes, the government could hardly do anything about that. But have they even attempted such a thing? That is a question I would like to ask. Provided, again, what the government is saying is true.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Well, we need the parties to come out and, just say what they have to say. We saw the AG speaking, but we need the other side. And as Greg said, maybe they need to meet in the middle and work something out as it pertains to the fiasco that's happening now, because I wish in the beginning it was a bit clearer. I know the businesses were given notice since 20. Go ahead, Collie, you're live on LNT.
Good morning, Cotton Quinn.
Good morning.
Yes. I think on Monday I said I would go over by the bar and do a personal assessment. I did do that yesterday, actually. Okay, and it was very revealing what I found out. I went to Shipwreck, also went to Discovery Bar.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the two that were open.
Okay. Didn't get to the Godfather?
Okay. No, the Godfather was closed.
Okay.
I understand there's supposed to be a shipping today or something like that, so maybe it might be open today.
Okay.
In which case, I'll probably contact them. But, well, first of all, I don't know if you recall that the Attorney General, I asked the Attorney General if it has been established that the bars are in fact on the property of the developers. Mm-hmm. And he gave an affirmative answer. And I was shown a copy of basically it was a survey done by a qualified surveyor, registered surveyor, that actually showed that the bars are not on private property. Mm-hmm. They are on the beach, and it's what I suspected, because if you look, anybody who knows the area, right, knows exactly where the bars are. And there's a setback from the water line, I think of about 70 feet, okay, before the boundary line with the property would start. And those bars, well, the three bars between Godfather, it's Godfather, I think it was Sunset Beach, Discovery Bay, and there was another bar that doesn't seem to have been occupied for some time. Those are absolutely on the beach, okay? And in the case of Shipwreck, most of Shipwreck is on the beach as well. The only place that seems to would have gone over the 70 feet limit would have been where they have the generator and other small facilities there. Okay, so what that tells me is that, as Greg pointed out, right, you cannot trust these guys. You have to verify. Or if you want to trust, but verify. Okay? And that, I think, is why the government became involved, the Attorney General's office became involved, because it's now a case where they're not squatting on the private developers' land. They're on the public or crown lands, which is, well, the beach area. Okay? And I wonder if, in fact, as Greg suggested, was there any attempt to at least come to some, I call it happy medium, accommodation, call it what you will, with these bars. Bearing in mind...
Mr. McMahon, you didn't remember them saying they offered them to move to Frigate Bay? Would you consider that a medium?
No, not necessarily. It's an option. Okay. But if the bars don't want to be, if the bar owners don't want to be removed from the area, bearing in mind that at least in the case of Shipwreck, it's been there over 20 years. Okay? You know, that should count for something. And according to the manager there, they employ some 25 staff. Okay? So those are things that absolutely should have been considered, and I get the impression that the government was not interested in coming to any accommodation with the developers on this on these bars. Okay? I don't see why, for instance, it wasn't, they could have, the ones like Godfather and Discovery could have been relocated so that it's probably not facing the front of the property of the development. And by the way, we have not seen what the development is going to look like. I remember when they were doing the Marriott, there was an actual model of what, right. You know, I would have thought the same thing would have been done here. So people get an idea of what actually is being planned. Because the other thing that's going to come into play is beach access. Where exactly would be the beach access? You know,
well,
right now,
Mr. McMahon, I must commend you for doing some investigative journalism, even though you're not a journalist. I would assume you just consider yourself a concerned citizen. But what you have put forward now puts a number of questions into the mix, because if what you're saying is so, then it means that part about being on private lands and being given time to move would seem to be rather untrue. That's one. Now, in terms of where they are, and you said Shipwreck has been there for a matter of over 20 years, that again poses a question as to if the individual would want to relocate, one, and two, if the individual does not want to relocate, bearing in mind they've been there for this considerable period, can you not have negotiated with them as to how they would comply with the aesthetics of any new project that is going there?
Right.
And it poses another question now, and the question is, are some individuals now interested in the area, and so there's a move being made to move these individuals who are presently there to accommodate other individuals who, whomever it is, would feel they feel more comfortable being in that position, which poses another question. And the question is, are you using favoritism in your selection of who goes into this area? So now this seems, from your bit of investigation, to fall right into what Greg has been saying, that you cannot accept whatever the system gives you, because the system seems to put a spin on it that will appease you unless you do your own investigation.
Absolutely, right. In the same broadcast, the Attorney General was very dismissive of. Well, he actually called my name, and he also mentioned the opposition wanting to see like the proposals and so on that are there. He was very dismissive of it, right? But these should be in the public domain, okay? And stop hiding behind foolishness like trade secrets, but they know it is not so.
And another thing comes to mind which you referred to, and I find this is another disturbing trend, because like you said, when it was to do with the Marriott and with any real venture that we see coming into the Federation, we see plans, we see proposals, we have a concept of how it will play out. But recently we are just hearing things and we are not seeing any plans whatsoever. So is it that some force is moving in a way so as to make you feel comfortable in your minds, knowing that election is coming up soon around the corner, so that it gives you a comfort level where you might feel, okay, I hear things going, even though I don't see the evidence of such, and I'm going to give them a chance and see if I can keep them in their office. That seems to be the case. And if that is the case, we say we do not want that kind of trend. We want that if you are sure of ventures, then let us see things on paper that represent such a venture.
But that would make absolute sense. I mean, the fact that, okay, something is coming, it's going to have a good impact on the economy, on the area. Wouldn't you want to show it off?
That's it.
Rather than keep it near and dear to your heart?
Yeah, most definitely.
You know, it makes one suspicious of what those kind of deals and so on that they make, that we hear about after. Another aspect of this is the fact that I think he was using the fact that they had signed leases to pay the owners of the land from before.
Yes.
Yeah.
And right. But my understanding from one of the bar owners is that they actually just wanted to continue their business, and it was done through a local lawyer here, and they didn't want no court, nothing, no confrontation or anything, and so they just paid it. But now that they did the survey after, and now it is clear
that they are not infringing
actually,
on. Yeah.
So one wonders, hey, shouldn't they be refunded all what they paid?
Yeah, that poses another question too.
You know.
And this, look, I hate when these things happen, because I was ready to give the Attorney General all the benefit of a doubt, but now there are so many question marks, and if these individuals are not careful, you know, there's an old saying, my name and my character is all that I have to go on, and if I jeopardize that, then my entire integrity is suspect. So these individuals had better be careful what they put out there and what comes off of investigations, because we see on Nevis, this enclave thing, vague. We see still up to this point with Christoph Harbour, vague. We hear this, what you're speaking about in that vicinity, again, vague, no real plans. What is happening at Fort Thomas Hotel, vague, no plans. And we ask ourselves, as I've asked before, why of all the things that you purported to do in your manifesto, like the high school, the hospital, and certain things, why are you not paying emphasis on those things which you mandated, which you put forward, proposed in your manifesto, but you're jumping off on all of these other tangents, and yet they are vague? Don't you think, Mr. McMahon, that they should be paying emphasis on the things that they said they would do?
Well, you would think so. But you see, again, it comes back to mindset. For me, it's more the mindset that's there. In this particular case, for instance, it seems to be a mindset of, and the Attorney General made a point, I think twice, of saying this government is for business, this government is for business. Well, these bar owners, they're business people too.
Yeah.
Maybe what he wanted to say was that the government is for big business, right? Well, he could have said that. But what I'm getting to, in my estimation, the government should facilitate, if it's going to take a side, be on the side of the smaller man. I mean, it's a Labour government, for crying out loud.
Yes.
You normally
yes.
expect,
Yes.
you normally expect the Labour government to be on the side of the small person.
But the trend that we're seeing conveys otherwise, that there are
Right.
all of these instances I referred to, everything that the smaller man or the public should be informed on, vague, but yet still it seems all of them are leaning towards foreign investors.
And at the same time, right, they make it seem as if we're against foreign investment when we raise issues like that. It's not that we're against foreign investment. It's that we're for foreign investment that is going to uplift the country, okay? Not benefit in an extraordinary way, benefit the investor at the expense of local people, and not just benefit a few elites in the country at the expense of the majority
of the
people.
Citizens. Yeah.
Right. You know,
And
it's the mindset. It's the mindset that I'm concerned about. I don't think they have the mindset.
And I remember when we spoke on this, even saying that what is the name of the hotel that is supposed to be going over there?
Ritz-Carlton.
Ritz-Carlton. I remember saying, unlike this vague thing over on Nevis, at least we know if a venture like that happens, we know that it will bring jobs and so on and so forth. But now we're seeing, as you stated, no plans and so on and so forth. So the question is this another pie in the sky?
Well, the bar owner, one bar owner, seemed to feel so, right? But another bar owner actually said that, or the manager actually said that they better be thinking long and hard about how they're going to staff that hotel, because even that little business, she's having trouble attracting and retaining staff, suggesting that people don't really want to do that kind of work.
Yeah.
Strangely enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think though that when it comes to a hotel like of that caliber, I think people will lean towards it because they're thinking.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, because they're thinking. They're thinking in terms
because
of what their
one thing
salary.
I would imagine that the salaries are going to be higher.
That's it.
Right?
Because
and it's high end too, so it should be higher.
Because I have at least 2 kids who are working in that or were working in that vein, and I tell you that, man, they're what can I say? How can I put it? My youngest son, he's living good.
Yeah, of course, right? So it's just well, maybe she was given her experience.
Yes.
But I suspect that a hotel like that certainly would attract people to work there. But there's also the mentality that, well, so what if you have to bring in people because we're underpopulated anyway. I've seen that used in Nevis with this special sustainability zone when the Premier said between 7,000 and 10,000 people might be staying. And I listened to his program last night, actually, and he made reference to it because I was saying that would fundamentally change the whole, well, it's almost doubling the population in Nevis.
Yes.
Okay? And we're going to have implications in terms of, well, even electoral stuff.
Yes.
I mean, these are now citizens, going to be citizens who are residents and would be able to vote. But apart from that, it's going to be high net worth individuals. And if you have that number of high net worth individuals in an area like Nevis, they are going to have an inordinate amount of influence on the country generally.
Yeah, especially
it's just that money talks. I mean,
even
everybody knows that.
Even
okay?
apart from that,
he actually said.
Go ahead.
He actually said that in Bermuda is smaller than Nevis, but have a population of 60-something thousand people, right? And they're doing just fine. So there's no problem if we double the population of Nevis, because something similar can happen. Okay? Well, that might be true, but that is no reason not to look at the implications of this rapid increase in the population, what effects it would have. Okay?
And that has been something that has been happening for some time. We know of the influx of individuals to the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis over the recent years, and we know the impact that has had on water, on electricity, on housing, and so on and so forth. The government has not been able to keep up with the influx as opposed to making sure. So this drastic one-time influx, yes, you say they're going to be, that again poses another question, Mr. McMahon, because they're going to have autonomy.
Well, in the case of this particular development down here, one wonders, maybe it might be, I think Ritz-Carlton is associated with the Marriott. Maybe like the Marriott, they're going to have their own wastewater treatment facility. They're going to have their own desalination.
I would assume so, but I was not speaking to this end. You jump from Nevis to this end. This end, we've seen what the Marriott has done. As a matter of fact, the Marriott has been, the Marriott's planning, when you think back, has been sustainable, because the Marriott didn't just start to do things about their water and electricity. Remember way back when we were having problems with electricity, we used to even borrow, from them over in that vicinity. So they have proven that they are thinking sustainably. It is our government that has not been thinking sustainably. We've heard about certain things, and again, it comes back to why are they not moving on these things? We heard about this thing to do with water, making sure that water, we are self-sufficient in water, and we heard about a desalination plant. Well, that is to do with water, but I think we heard about solar and so on and so forth, and certain things that should enhance our electricity, but then we're hearing silence now.
Oh, by the way, the Discovery Bar owner said he had solar installed a long time ago.
Yes.
And now apparently, with the new requirements or new bill that was passed, the government apparently is going to require him to pay to Skelec for having his solar panels there. I thought I
Wow.
found that strange.
Wow.
If that is in fact so.
That is news because we heard when the bill was being discussed that it would offer individual a chance to have their own electricity, and if they have surplus,
Feed it into
that
right.
that is what the wording was. And if you, I think I can remember Conway saying that. Yeah, you can know. And if you have surplus, you can feed it back into the grid and make some money.
Right.
But
Right.
so look.
But he's saying otherwise, and that probably should need further investigation because, like he said, he put in his panel a long time ago. I don't know if there's concessions on new panels coming in, but I mean he has his installed, and that's the whole point. I mean you have. It isn't that they just come and want concessions and special treatment and so on. They've been there for ages and do deserve those kinds of concessions and,
I agree.
and
I
special
agree.
treatment.
I agree. So again,
But in the final analysis, he says they have hired a lawyer as well. Some of the bars there have hired a lawyer, and they're essentially in wait-and-see mode what the government is going to do. Now that, it's on government property, okay, what they're going to do with the bars. And to me, this is the ideal opportunity for government now, not to write the bars and tell them get out,
to accommodate,
but
negotiate
with the
yeah, for better
developers.
accommodation, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
start
you look at-
start negotiating in terms of the aesthetics and that kind of stuff and so
yeah,
forth.
or give them a concession to operate. Even the developers can incorporate the bar in their development and give them a concession, give the present owners a concession to run those. Because you see, at the other end, you have what you can call a high-end bar, beach bar,
Yeah.
in Carambola. Okay? When people come here, they want variety. So why you don't think that beach can accommodate at the other end something rustic?
Yeah.
Not necessarily like how it is now, but a different kind of beach experience.
Yeah. Anyway,
I actually remember.
Anyway, Mr. McMahon, I'm due for a break.
Yeah.
It's overdue for a break.
Okay.
So perhaps but again, let me commend you for your investigative journalist work, and it shows what can happen when media houses, if they choose to take it upon themselves to ask questions.
Yeah.
And when you
Just
ask
go over there
and when
that's all it took.
and when you ask questions and you found out things like these, people will then lean towards your what do they call a journalistic medium, towards your entity, and be looking forward to say, well, okay, we know we're going to get the source of what is happening from there. So you didn't have to do it, but out of your concern, you've done it, and we thank you very much. I'm going to have to take a bit of a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
From the time that you taste it, man, you know that it's greatness. Some ice in your cup, tell your friends drink up. You know that we like man. Signal the bartender. No, we don't need chaser. But if you want, it could mix with anything. We drinking Stones ginger wine, the original ginger wine. We drinking a like I say. Stones ginger wine. Greatness is forever.
This Independence, Hosford is your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stop shop. 1. Furniture and appliances. Make your home shine. 2. Building and Nevis centers. Build it strong. Build it right. 3. Ashley Furniture Home Store. Style it up with flair. 4. Auto spares and accessories. Keep your ride moving smooth. 5. Builder's Paradise, all your hardware dreams in one stop. And here's the kicker. For 3 days only, September 17th, 18th, and 20th, get a massive 25% off store-wide on all discountable items. So this Independence, don't just shop. Celebrate freedom and savings at Hosford's, your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-stop shop. Hosford! Celebrate freedom! Celebrate savings!
Are you dreaming of a brighter future? The answer is right beneath your feet. Buying land is a wise investment. You can build a home, hold it as collateral, or pass it on to your children. And with CIBC Caribbean, buying land is a bold move you can make right now. CIBC Caribbean is giving you US $250 towards your valuation cost and 50% off your loan application fee. Visit CIBCCaribbean.com for more details. CIBC Caribbean terms and conditions apply.
Got itchy palms? That's a sign. Money could be coming your way with Scratch and Win from Caribbean Lottery. It's the easiest way to win instantly. No waiting, no fuss. With tickets starting from just $2 up to $20. Win over $35 million in prizes. The higher the price, the bigger the prize. So scratch today for your chance to win up to $200,000. Available at Caribbean Lottery agents island-wide. Must be 21 years and older to play. Kids and neighbors, it's time to celebrate! We're raising our glasses and saying cheers to 20 years as your trusted telecommunications provider. And because we love our amazing customers, we're giving you the chance to win. Every week, we've got exciting prizes just for you. And that's not all. Step into a cash vault for a shot at $2,000 in cash. To qualify, switch to Digicel, activate a 3-day plan or higher, pay your bill in full, sign up for postpaid or a new Digicel Plus internet package. Stay connected, keep enjoying the best service, and get ready to win. 20 years strong, and we're just getting started. Visit a Digicel retail store today.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea, only on Win Media 98.9.
And we're back on Island Tea, and as we continue to discuss, I saw that Burl might finally get his wish. The NRP is going to have a peaceful protest on Friday the 12th.
Okay.
They're going to educate the masses about, let me make sure I get, said a peaceful protest and rally. There'll be powerful speeches from the NRP leaders, learn facts about the land issue, a call to action, protect what's ours. So it's going to be on Friday the 12th of September at from 3 to 6 p.m. at the DR Walwyn Plaza, Charlestown.
Yeah, and let me ask a question that just jumped into my mind. I've asked this question before, but I think it is worthy of reiterating. Why is it that from the opposition on our end here on St. Kitts, the island of St. Kitts, we're hearing a deafening silence? This thing really blew up because of NRP bringing it to light. And it seems to me as if though, for the life of me, I cannot understand why is it that the two individuals who still have stand as representatives of the people in the federal parliament, why they are silent? Why this ongoing silence? What would it take? Is it because you don't know, one? Is it because you don't care? And neither of those answers would be fitting, because if you don't know, then you should know. You should, like the individual who went over there in that vicinity and did some investigation. You are in a position to do investigation. You still have the mandate of the people as the opposition representative. So why are you silent? And those two individuals are one, the individual in number 8. What's his name? What's his name again?
Sean Richards?
No, in number 8. In number 7. In number 7, yes. Timothy Harris. The Honorable Timothy Harris. Why are you silent? A lot of people have faith in you. I think that you will erode that faith and confidence the more you remain silent. Because if I have faith in someone, for instance, if my children have faith in me and I don't defend and provide for them, they will lose that faith. If I have a woman and I don't, meet what she expects of me in terms of representation and making her feel like, okay, that is a man I can lean on for representation, she will soon find someone else. And the other one is Sean Richards, right? So why are you silent? And then, to extend it even further, those who are wishing to replace the present incumbent, why are you silent? Just questions that needs to be asked, because a country does not really get anywhere if it does not have effective opposition. So you are not living up to your role. It seems to me you have abdicated, you have absconded, you have, what do they call it when you're a soldier in the army and you, defected or something? I think
defect.
That the word? I think you have defected. So we need representation from the opposition. Okay? Hello? Caller?
Yes, just one other thing. As you mentioned, why is the opposition so silent? The beach bar owner did mention that this has been an ongoing thing, and that they actually met formally and informally with when Unity was in power. They met with Mr. Grant. They met with Timothy Harris himself. Okay? And so apparently at least they realized the sensitivity of the issue. I don't know if they've met with the political directorate currently.
Yeah.
Right? But I guess we'll wait and see what happens. Just like what they're doing and waiting and seeing. Because really and truly, I remember we had a company picnic over there at one point. And that time, Four Seasons used to arrange catamaran tours to that beach.
Yeah.
And I distinctly remember what they did was actually put up a rope between the areas that their tourists were in, as if to
cordon them
separate
off.
us from them. And the managing director of the company, of our company, actually, who was an expatriate, he was white and from the United States, he owned the company, took it down. Mm-hmm. And you know what happened? Our employees interacted freely with those tourists.
That's the way it should
I remember
be.
that song, what's it, Macarena? Remember that Macarena song?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was about that time.
Yes.
And they were dancing and song with them.
Yeah.
So it just shows this artificial barriers that we want to put up is a joke. It's a waste of time.
Yeah.
Most people not like that. It's saying that they want to be, exclusive and away from ordinary people and so on. Right? It's the mentality, I keep going back to that, is the mentality of those in government now that does these things to us.
Yes. Yeah.
You know? So there are so many dimensions to this.
Yeah.
That makes one, you should pause and really reassess things. I mean, the Attorney General said it's supposed to start next month. I don't know how you're going to start next month. People don't know what's going to be involved in the development.
Mr. McMahon, have we not heard in relation to the school and the hospital, have we not heard different times when things were supposed to start, and then it seems as if though things would seem to start and then it would stall, and then we'd hear there's land dispute or there's some kind, and then it would stall, and so it is all well to come and say things are going to start. We want, again, it comes back to what you said earlier. If you had plans, if we saw definitive plans that outlined what, it is most likely when these ventures start, they would continue. But because we do not have plans, people are just making statements.
Yeah, but how many of those you can make like that before you're totally discredited?
Well, that is what I'm saying. You know?
You know? And that is why there's so much mistrust in government. You know, it is not you're anti-government, but when you see what has happened in the past, when you see what continues to happen,
and you know,
you have to it gives us pause, you know.
And you know, it kind of hurts me because I don't pick any political side, and I really, when I heard people saying this government is young and they're inexperienced, I wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt and wanted to see them succeed. And our present leader, Dr. Jew, being young, but he could be my son because I think he's in that age vicinity and that kind of stuff. You look forward to seeing, it's like you look forward to seeing how the future generation will play out, and then you're disappointed because either they are not taking advice, they're not taking their proper advice, they do not have the proper individuals around them who would tell them what they need to hear, or they don't want to hear what they need to hear, and they're just...
It reflects badly on judgment. I mean, just this morning in the news, BBC News, the Prime Minister in Britain has fired, essentially recalled the ambassador to the United States because of his reported connection with Epstein.
Yeah.
Okay? Oh. And the reporters were saying that this reflects a pattern of poor judgment in terms of appointments by the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
You know? And because these things obviously matter.
They matter.
You might be a good guy, but if you don't hire good people
that's it.
around you,
it's going to reflect on you.
Bad.
It's going to reflect on you, you know. And I've said as much over time. I've said right here, I've said to Prime Minister Jew that he needs to visualize who he have around him and perhaps make some changes, because politics is a hard-hitting thing. It's not a friend, chinny kind of thing. You know, you
it's
have
not
to...
a place for nice guys, for
yeah,
sure.
because it would seem to me that the very same people, some of the people who surround the Prime Minister are the ones who are pulling him down, and then he find himself coming and defending. A case in point, I cannot understand for the life of me why he keeps defending the Minister of Agriculture. I just can't. And people might feel, okay, well, Quint has it for the Minister of Agriculture. I don't have it in for the Minister of Agriculture. Here's my stance. My stance is, if you're a Minister of Agriculture, then we should see agriculture moving in a way that benefits the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. It has been too long. We've heard all of your rhetoric, and you come and you give us dandy words, and they're not playing out. We're not seeing anything that benefits us and that looks like it is sustainable. And
it's the politics of it, though, right? Remember, it's just a one-seat majority.
I hate to hear these kind of things. So you're saying to me then, Mr. McMahon, that because it's a one seat and you're sitting on the edge, and you're surrounded by people who are incompetent, you don't have. Look, I would have had to call a meeting or something and give them some choice words. And if they want to fragment the whole thing, well, they fragment. Everybody lose.
Yeah,
but
it's not his style. You see. I don't think he has the some message guts.
Well, you know,
he's not inclined to govern that way.
Look,
and I agree. You're right. Right, you have to take some really hard decisions sometimes.
I'm a parent
of the consequences.
I'm a parent.
I said that not to excuse it, but to explain why I think it's that way.
Well, you said that on numerous occasions, so I thought I'd just highlight it. But here's it: I'm a parent. I have 5 children. You think I've not had to make really hard decisions? You think there are not times when, especially with my oldest son, who's very strong, my-willed and that kind of stuff. You think there hasn't been time when we've had confrontations and I've had to say what I feel, or even recently me and him kind of had it out, you know, because he feels I'm a big man and, you know, you might be my father, but you can't. And I recently said something to him and I said, I said we should have a talk, and he got all up in himself and, you know, and whatnot. And I said point blank, I said, look, I am the parent and you're the child. It is your choice. I know you're a big man, but it's either we have a talk or not. And he walked away, you know, and blah, blah, blah. So that is how it is when you're a parent.
And that's exactly how you have to do it.
Yes.
Because if you don't do that, right, you know the old saying, 2 man crab can't live in the same hole.
Yeah.
I think that is what's been happening now, where there is no discipline in the administration, from what I can see. It's almost as if everybody goes off and do their own thing.
Well, they can't.
Nobody.
Mr. McMahon, a government cannot run like that. Here's what I'm going to do. Because you've called before and you had a long duration, I'm going to ask you to wrap up your point this time.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I yield to them, of course. It's okay.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, okay then.
Okay, so let's take a bit of a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Found the sound, 98.9.
I ain't got no hurricane safety tips now. Well, Skellek got, and together we can weather the storm. So, check this. Prepare for power outages. Charge devices before a storm strikes. Develop a plan in the event that electricity goes. Learn where and how to shut off your home's electricity. Ensure that there are no trees in the lines near you. If you are experiencing low voltage, turn off the main switch in your home. Do not touch wet appliances. Be sure to stay tuned to Skellek's Facebook page and website for updates about the outages and restoration. For emergencies, our contact numbers are 465-2013, 661-2013, and 600. I repeat, 465-2013, 661-2013, and 600. Remember, with Skellek's hurricane safety tips, together we can weather the storm.
Rams the good food, people always there to serve you. Rams the
Are you dreaming of a brighter future? The answer is right beneath your feet. Buying land is a wise investment. You can build a home, hold it as collateral, or pass it on to your children. And with CIBC Caribbean, buying land is a bold move you can make right now. CIBC Caribbean is giving you US $250 towards your valuation cost and 50% off your loan application fee. Visit CIBCCaribbean.com for more details. CIBC Caribbean terms and conditions apply.
Flow customers, unlock big prepaid rewards every time you activate a prepaid plan. Activate a 7-day plan or higher and earn points towards your rewards. Activate again, earn even more points. Activate next week, well, you get the picture. The more you activate, the more extra data and prizes you earn. Get in on the big prepaid rewards. Dial *129 or visit topupflow.com to activate a prepaid plan today.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea, only on Win Media 98.9.
And we're back on Island Tea, and as we continue along...
We have a caller.
Okay, caller, go ahead. You're live on Island Tea.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. How are you all doing?
Good, thanks. Yourself?
Fine, thank you.
I'm okay. Forgive me for bothering you all just now, right? But on the backdrop of what was said a little earlier, I'm going to put in a sideliner. This is an outlier. Now, the name Bermuda was mentioned and about its population and so on, right?
Yeah.
The thing about it is, me personally, I don't really like when we keep going along the trend about the foreign businesses when they come in and they will provide jobs and all of those sort of things. I really don't know what that means. Some in the recent past, not many years ago, in the recent past, maybe just around maybe coming on to 2020, there were some persons who came from Bermuda, and we were in discussion, and we were talking from one thing to the next, and maybe in a curious person, and as they just a fast person, you know, I asked a few questions because I've never been to Bermuda, and the picture that was painted by this person, and they're black people, really, was not a good one, because in terms of employment and jobs, they told me, because I had to ask them if it is certain, if they're certain with what they're saying. And they said, yes. In terms of jobs and employment, they said, listen, they have a lot of black people in Bermuda who have their qualifications, whether they're bachelors or their masters or whatever. And it says, listen, it's very difficult for them to get a job. The jobs that they are relegated to are the menial jobs. Some of them who have, like I said, their degree, they have to take up broom and shovel and clean the street. They want to survive, yes. They have their financial obligations, yes. They take what they have relegated to them, right? And I asked that person, are those persons, if it is so, and they really said, yes, no, I'm not there. But I do believe, because it's the same blueprint throughout. It doesn't matter which country, throughout. Now, let's come here to this country. You think if the demography, let me say the demographics change to that extent that we can sit here and glory and talk about, oh, jobs, what kind of jobs we are going to get? No, if we have to come a little closer, let us look at a supermarket in town, Rams. And I can say, because I'm not lying, they are here, they say, for years now. But if you look at certain positions, it's not our local people who occupy them. It doesn't matter how qualified we are for the job. You look at it, you see. Even the last wave of the Indians who came in, I thought that those persons were all related to the owner of the deceased owner, and only to find out the other day that they are not related. So certain positions they call in their people. You go to the hotels that come in, right? Now they talk about if they have an opening, like a job position, you know, people complain. Well, they say, all right, it has to be advertised first. You see what they go and they advertise it. They advertise it in a way that what they are looking for excludes the local people, because they don't want the local people to begin with. You're gonna advertise something about has experience in Scandinavian cuisine. I mean, which one of us has experience cooking Scandinavian foods and the like? I know some persons might say, well, all right, you can learn it. Yes, but where are you going to go to learn it? And even if you do, they're still not going to choose you because you're not a Scandinavian, right? And we look at the Chinese that are here. I can mention Cindy because this is factual. I'm not lying. She has 2 sons. The sons, I think, are old enough now. I believe they're out of school, and they are working in her business. The other Chinese supermarket is Chinese. So if we have a buildup of others in this country, what do you think is going to happen? And we can sit here and say we have laws, laws, laws. When it comes to a lot of these businesses, the laws are not enforced. And even for a lot of our people who we might consider to be educated, you understand, as the older heads like say, they're bright like a bulb. But I'm going to leave off the last line. They're only bright like a bulb, you know? Because some of them, they don't have it. They don't have any ethical integrity, no moral integrity, nothing. And when you look at it, it is a shame because they don't really push our people. And finally, before I go, in terms of, well, okay, we talk about the zoning. Yes, we want to want that to happen. We do not want that to happen. We don't want any enclave of no group of people coming here. It's not going to work well. It's not going to work well. And in talking about removing this and removing the barriers and all of us getting along, let me tell you, people, especially for the last caller, they don't want us among them. And I don't blame them. Because me personally, I don't want to live among them. They don't want that. They're moving out of their area and they're coming to patronize your business in whichever way, whether it is fake or whatever. They come to patronize your business. They patronize your business until their own get their own. They're going to leave your business alone.
But Carla, I think what the individual was trying to show, and I think he was correct in showing it, was that where on one side the system or the government might, or certain individuals in the hierarchy might be saying, look, we want these people who are coming, they want to be segregated from you. There are instances, I agree with you, not the majority, but there are instances when that is not true. That is what he wanted to prove. Because they use these things to say, well, okay, they don't want to be integrated with you, and they use them to our detriment. Because, for instance, let's use the beach property as an example. They will use that to say, well, they want when they go to the beach that they can enjoy themselves and they do not want to be disturbed or blah, blah, blah. But what happens to us? So that is the point the caller was trying to make.
I understand that, but to be honest, I'm still going to maintain they don't want to see us around. We are the ones who are suffering from low self-esteem, because we are the ones who want to run up in their faces, right? If they realize that we don't really value them like that and we don't see them like that, that they're the beginning and the end of it all in whatever, you understand? You will see the difference.
I agree.
They can behave like that. They can behave like that because they know the mindset that they have us in. And when I say us, I'm speaking in general. Okay? I'm speaking in general. And I don't understand why we really want to anyway. For what? But the thing is, this small island, if they're going to Allow them in like this. Something is going to give. It will give. And the mindset that we have of our people, those ones are going to take precedence.
I agree.
Yes, they're going to take precedence because I heard of an instance where I think in Frigate Bay at the same hotel day when it was under construction. Something, happened where one of those that came in, he maybe he thought that he had a modern day slave. And he went as far as to physically assault the guy. The guy was defending himself. A local was defending himself against him. And as was said, some of the workers, the local, went and held their local brother. Understand? And left that foreigner free to do what he wants to do. And when it got to court, they said the judge or magistrate, whichever one, went and did the foreigner side against the local. And then that foreigner came out and bragged and started bragging. So you see?
I remember something that I can't even believe now when I think about it. There was an instance over in a particular hotel, and this individual and his wife, Caucasian, were going on in a very disorderly manner and very disrespectful, and a cop went over there to try to, calm down the situation. And man, if you see the way the man and his wife were dealing with the police and actually hitting the police, and I said to myself, wow, the audacity of these people. So yeah, you're right. But
I saw it, right? I saw that video. And what shocked me is that the police just stood there and do nothing.
Yeah, that shocked me too.
You think if this was a local couple or a black couple behave like that in the hotel and go as far as to put their hand on that police would have stayed there and did nothing?
But it comes down to what you said. But it comes back to what you said. We are the ones who have self-hate, and we are the ones who feel that they are superior to us. Anyway, I'm going to ask you to wrap up your thoughts.
Yeah, no, that's it.
Okay.
You have a blessed day.
Thank you for your contributions.
We're going to take a bit of a commercial break, and we'll be right back.
WINN is 98.9. 98.9 is Win FM.
I ain't got no hurricane safety tips now. Well, Skelett got, and together we can weather the storm. So, check this. Prepare for power outages. Charge devices before a storm strikes. Develop a plan in the event that electricity goes. Learn where and how to shut off your home's electricity. Ensure that there are no trees in the lines near you. If you are experiencing low voltage, turn off the main switch in your home. Do not touch wet appliances. Be sure to stay tuned to Skellett's Facebook page and website for updates about the outages and restoration. For emergencies, our contact numbers are 465-2013, 661-2013, and 600. I repeat, 465-2013, 661-2013, and 600. Remember, with Skellett's hurricane safety tips, together we can weather the storm.
Reliable and responsible.
So customers, unlock big prepaid rewards every time you activate a prepaid plan. Activate a 7-day plan or higher and earn points towards your rewards. Activate again, earn even more points. Activate next week, well, you get the picture. The more you activate, the more extra data and prizes you earn. Get in on the big prepaid rewards. Dial *129 or visit topupflow.com to activate a prepaid plan today.
Are you dreaming of a brighter future? The answer is right beneath your feet. Buying land is a wise investment. You can build a home, hold it as collateral, or pass it on to your children. And with CIBC Caribbean, buying land is a bold move you can make right now. CIBC Caribbean is giving you US $250 towards your valuation cost and 50% off your loan application fee. Visit CIBCCaribbean.com for more details. CIBC Caribbean terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to Island Tea with your faves. Keep it locked in with us for your daily dose of hot tea only on Win Media 98.9.
And we are back on Island Tea. Quint, we have a caller or we are good to go?
No, we don't have a caller.
Okay. But I was looking at what Mr. McMahon would have mentioned of the ambassador for the UK to the US being fired because of his connection. But then we have other persons that are not going to ever get fired. They're just going to do their term.
Look, this fiasco with the Epstein thing is a lot of individuals. Look, they're going to try their best to cover this up because a lot of individuals of high ranking are involved in this.
Yeah.
Thing, right, a lot of them. So let me see if we can go to the phone lines. Hello, caller.
Yes, good morning, man. Good morning to you guys. How are you guys doing today?
Good, thanks. Morning, Bill.
Yeah, a lot is going on. Quint, you asked a great question earlier. Where is those two opposition members in Parliament and the thinking stuff? You know, I try to input my little one to here. Once upon a time on another program, I called out Timothy Harris, and another listener didn't like that. This is not just a Nevis issue on this SSC law. It's a lot going on, and there's a lot to talk about. And to me personally, I believe the local people is in for a fight. And the local people, they're being tricked and they're being duped. Our politicians are not honest enough to come forth and, talk directly to the people. These little instances on the beachfront properties, we see developments over there, Friars Bay. But Quint, let me ask McMahon has alluded to this before. Is something going on different on Nevis than what's going on St. Kitts in relation to SSD and all of this development and these issues with land, beachfront lands especially, when these hotel chains are coming? Because he mentioned Pinnis Beach on Nevis, and I personally may not want to pull too much people into this fray, but there's a popular, famous beach bar over there, Sunshine, and one of my questions is he owning the property that his bar is on? And why can't we get some of these prominent business persons to come at the air? I mean, I know Sunshine himself possibly, maybe could be a person that can come forward and speak about his experience on the beach, so we could get some type of clarification, back on the St. Kitts side, and in relation to some points that McMahon be bringing out. Why can't the beach bar owners, why can't they coexist with these big hotel chains that's coming? Because back on the Nevis side again, Sunshine Bar, and we see an area right there outside Four Seasons is being developed. The last time I came to Nevis, I saw a bunch of bars down there. Not pinpointing Sunshine Bar himself, but there are other bars down there in the Pinnis Beach area now. How is the situation on Nevis and Pinnis Beach? How are those beach bars able to coexist right next to the Four Seasons? I mean, can we get people to come forward and explain what's going on Pinnis Beach? As what we're seeing, potentially is happening on the Friars Bay over in St. Kitts now. It's a lot to sift through, man. And another point, another thing that I observed, the guy that's operating that port area down at New Guinea, he's making his rounds. And I saw a clip where he said he lost out and somewhere close to $2 million in some dredging work that he did at Christoph Harbor. And that was under the Douglas administration, he said. I mean, the locals, you know, got to be serious about what they're doing too, because I mean, money can't be important to the upper class only.
And
What
you know,
about us
and
down-
you know, that's a good point. Well, we have another caller holding. Caller, let's hear your voice at least.
Yes, Quint, I would listen to when the guy finish.
Okay, that is a good point because it shows us that somehow it seems that our leaders lack negotiating skills, because you would think that here is a local individual did some dredging in that vicinity. We know recently the marina was sold, which means that the dredging had to have been successful. And you're telling me that you're going to reach a point where, as we've heard, where this is sold and you're going to get X amount of money, and you could not sit down and negotiate and say, look, part of this negotiation will be that you owe a local, you owe one of our individuals from right here in the Federation for work that they have done, and we want that to be cleared up. Why was not that part of this is what you're there for as a government, to represent your people, not to just come out of deals and we see foreign investors, or I don't even know if we can call them foreign investors, because I would like to think a foreign investor would make investments that we see profitable over time, that we see is sustainable. To this point, we cannot say that of Christoph Harbor. So here we have this young individual who did work over there, and you mean to tell me the government, who has a high hand in any negotiation of how things will play out, and you did not negotiate so that your local individual could get his money? Remember, whatever money that local individual gets goes directly into our own GDP. 2 point something.
Yeah, he got a bunch of employees and such. I mean, this is money that's going to be pumped into our local economy, no matter what. I mean,
so this is where our locals keep failing us, our local representative. And I keep telling them, when you become a leader, stop going into negotiating rooms yourself when you're not savvy on other things. If you're a baker, let's say you become a leader and you're a baker, you don't go and sit down in a room with people who deal in real estate. You bring whether your permanent secretary or people who are versed in that in the room, and you say, well, I'm here, I'm the leader, but I have my people who represent this field of endeavor, and so we can sit down and have a chat. This is what they need to do, but they seem to be so full of themselves. It's all about them. They go into a room and they get devoured raw.
That's correct. That's correct, and I totally agree with you. And that female caller that was on earlier, great points by her. She covered a lot of different areas of what's going on. For me, personally, what I see, let me start at the premier. He made comments, right, about him tired of investors coming, promising such and such, and they don't deliver. And then, boom, the SSC was rushed through. Is that some type of desperation, or what is that all about?
But that is why that is why they don't deliver, because he goes in, he negotiates with them, and they're way above him. They're more savvy than him. They know that when he walk away, they know what they stand to gain, and then he's there scratching his head, waiting to see how it will play out in his favor, and they already know how it's going to play out. So when it eventually plays out now, he comes back to the people with his tail between his leg, and he says, I'm tired of these people who keep, making promises, but promises are comfort to a fool. You want things on paper. You want to go in with people who are savvy in negotiation, and when you walk out, you have things that tie them into it, that if they don't live up, and they put certain infrastructure, you claim the infrastructure that they put there, and perhaps you can get another investor now and say, look, this was a venture we had, we're now bringing to the table this, and so on and so forth, and you're better off in the second negotiation that you were in the first, because the first individual reneged and defaulted, and you were able to capture and capitalize on that. But when you're going in as a novice, and these people aren't foolish, look, these people are so savvy. From the time you walk into the room, in your first 3 or 4 sentences, they already know they can dupe you.
If we don't agree with what's going on, we just got to keep the pressure on, because keeping the pressure on can possibly deter that enclave on Nevis, especially, and any other projects of such, and St. Kitts as well. Kudos to the people on the ground. Yes, Cortesia mentioned earlier they're going to be an NRP rally Friday, and also I understand that there's going to be a rally on St. Kitts as well, September 26th, right out there by the roundabout outside Rams. And I just want to say kudos to those persons, and the citizens just got to realize, even though they may have particular persons being organizers of these rallies, they too can still support. You know, it's just not a party thing when it comes to this land issue. It's a national issue, and we should support in every way we can. And, you know, we'll observe what's going on. And I'll leave it there. Let me let the other, I want to stay on. Let me let the other caller chime in.
Go ahead, Greg.
Yes, Quint. I remember looking at that video with the policeman that you spoke about, who was assaulted by the man and his wife. And yes, and hearing the lady spoke about another incident with a foreign and local and that sort of stuff. Now, with all due respect, that's why I always say let's do things biblically, including how we deal with our land. You know, because this tourism thing, with all due respect, I really don't so believe in it the way how we are going about it. You know?
I agree with you. The way we're going about it is that we're just like just like Prime Minister Jew said, all the eggs were in the basket of the citizenship by investment. It seems as if though again all the eggs are going into either the citizenship by investment or tourism.
But we don't have anything else.
We had other things.
We had, yeah, but right now we don't have anything else.
So whose job it is to get the other things? It is their job. So until they get other things, they're going to be forced to continue putting all their eggs in these 2 baskets, and these 2 baskets over time are going to be to our detriment, because one, look, St. Kitts is only so big. How long can you keep on selling citizenship by investment?
Yeah, plus you see it's been attacked as well in addition to what you just said.
Because the citizenship by investment, it would seem to me, it isn't even about you come and you make an investment and we give you some lands to lease. It seems as if the only thing our leaders are open to is that we give them land to own. So if every so-called potential investor come and get lands to own and then don't live up to their end of the bargain, how long will it be before Kittitians and Nevisians don't own anything? That's one. Number two, the other point is, if you're going to only deal with tourism, tourism has many, many ventures, but not everyone wants to go into hospitalities. There are people who want to go into sciences and other options in business and so forth, and other ventures. So find ways of opening up those other ventures for your citizens. It is your job. That is why you were elected. You were not elected just so that you can see for yourselves. You were elected so that you can make it better for the people. That is why the people elected you. It seems to me that these present-day leaders, their thing is this, and I've seen it happening, and I think I have a clip that shows it happening a lot of places in Africa. These present-day leaders, this is their concept. I'm going to see what I can get, and when I'm gone, and whoever comes in after me, see what he can get, and when he's gone, whoever comes after them, see what they can get. But you're always leaving your people out, and the more you leave your people out, eventually all that you thought you had, you will eventually lose it because you are marginalized. You are few people who are high up in the wealth, but the majority now are these investors. And what you think is going to happen? They're going to squeeze you out. They're going to squeeze out those few family that you thought you was making financially stable. They're going to squeeze them out.
Great point, Quinn. The female caller, the lady caller earlier, she was alluding to all of this type of stuff.
Let Greg finish. Let Greg finish his point now.
Yeah, Quinn, yes. Not only that, but this tourism thing, it is very quickly changeable. And when I said I mean this. This tourism thing, okay? It puts you at hostage of foreigners. Because all they got to do is threaten your tourist system, threaten the boats them, if the boats them some bad news, whatever, the staff come, your money dries up.
Yeah.
So you don't want that. So the foreigners can come in and they can do all kinds of assaulting your police personnel. And you really are afraid to do anything about that. So you got to to be nonsense.
Sorry about that noise there. That was a certain a pump that pumps out the moisture from the air conditioning unit. So sorry. Yes, you were saying, and I agree with you that, that's the first thing these foreign governments do whenever they want to put you to your knees is they advise their citizens about coming to your country.
Yeah, and the citizens only got to even though the citizens are in the wrong, they only got to tell the government, well, such and such the experience in your island, and the government take their side and start to issue all kind of travel restrictions and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
That's how they hold you at hostage with this tourism thing. I don't care how much jobs and you name it and how much big name this hotel have. I think and I will argue that the biblical way is the best way to go, and that is, okay, government share up its government lands to families and as much as possible give enough land to families so that they can do agriculture on the land, open their own family business, maybe including maybe apartments and whatever, and shops and stores and whatever, agriculture or whatever they want to do, give them enough land as much as possible for them to do their own business on the land, plus in addition to the residential building. Do that. I would have preferred if that land, instead of going to the rich Carlson, and I don't care about jobs they've been, I would have preferred to see that land owned by petition families, developing their various plots, not only for residential purposes, but also businesses or agricultural purposes. I would have preferred that far more. And after government share up its land and so, whatever left back, well, maybe you could sell to whoever. And even then, I still prefer locals as priority. That is how I think it should go. This tourism thing, I think that this jobs and salary create is just a carrot dangling in front of our eyes to go after it, when in the end it's going to hold us hostage, as it has been, to foreigners, including foreign government, and that is why they come and assault our people, including our police and assault us, and we will be too scared to do anything about it. Okay. Quinn, take care.
Okay, Burl, wrap up your point.
Yeah, great point there by Greg. Great points. The fact that it's a kind of bribery for the local people. Oh, such and such jobs are coming. But everybody don't want to be landscapers and waiter or waitresses. You know what I mean? We ain't seen our politicians. Why can't we get a trade school to train and our people, and so that they can develop some skills? When they specialize, when they want specialized skilled persons, those persons are going to always be coming from outside, imported. This is where they're duping us, really. You know what I mean? There's an article on that St. Nevis Times called Tennessee. You need to pull that up. It speaks to this SSD and the lands. And I hear the comments all the time, Ratcher secured the lands, Simmons paid for the land. What exactly does that mean? If somebody paid for something, they should be owning it.
But
And
then
like
we
Greg
heard
just
later
said,
that the lands over there are private lands. It's just a. Sometimes I just think it's a lot.
But Prince, is the government creating a paradox here? Because when it's private lands, like over there on Fires Bay, they act like they don't want to get involved. But underneath the side, when this proposed enclave is coming, and the premier knew that the government don't have no lands in that area, they're private lands, why he entertained those developers? Because this means that you're going to have to go find a way to go dupe those private landowners to take their lands away from them, and that's where we end up at the point where we're at right now. The government, they're picking and choosing when to get involved. You know what I'm saying? You can't be like that. You want those developers to come, but the lands are not yours. So you should not be entertaining that.
Burl, I'm going to answer your question, but I want you to wrap up your point.
But I'll just say to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, keep the pressure up, and we can make a statement to these corrupted, greedy politicians. We are the people. We are the government. We got the power in our hands, and demonstrations and rallies, sure, will send that message to them. And I'll leave it there. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, and to answer your question, until the people, I've said this on numerous occasions, as long as the people sit down and let it go as business as usual, nothing is going to change. You, the people, are the people for a reason. You're the ones with the power. And yes, it is true that we have to wait about 5 years for a change, but you do not have to wait until exactly that 5-year period to go and make a difference. You can start agitating, you can let your voice be heard and let them know in no uncertain terms when you do dislike something. Do not, the problem we have is that we pick sides. We pick sides. Here's a point. I have 5 children. I have 2 daughters and 3 sons. I made it a decision long before I got children that if I had sons and daughters, I would not treat my daughters any different to my sons. Because as growing up as a young man, I saw certain things that happened with women that I didn't like, and I knew that women had the same capabilities mentally and their mental capabilities just as any man. And so even before I got my first child, who was a boy, I had already sat down and thought over on numerous occasions, how will I, suppose I get a girl first, how will I treat her? Will I love her any less? And this is the problem that we have as grown-ups. We keep choosing a party, and we put this party over the other party. Yes, you might back a Labour Party, but don't love your Labour Party so much more that you will allow your Labour Party to trample on you. Don't love your PAM party so much that you will love your PAM party. And this is the problem. People will love a party, and even when the party is doing wrong, you can't say anything about it. And then you expect to get representation? You're not going to get representation because these leaders realize that you're a fool. And the old people say, if you have a mule, you ride it. So you act like a mule and you will get ridden like a mule, kick like a mule, stomp like a mule, no gratitude to you like a mule. So start thinking of yourself as worthy of something. Tell yourself when you get up in the morning and you look in your mirror, you look at your image and you say, I am worthy of something. I am here for a purpose. I want to see myself 5 years down the line better off than I am now. I would like when I'm gone, when I'm passed off and gone, that my children can move forward better than I had to and my parents had to. Do these things, because if you're just acting and reacting on the spur of the moment, you will be abused. Look at what is happening in France today. All kind of protests, they deserve what is happening to them. You know why? Because they're a bunch of Caucasians who didn't have a problem when they saw black people in Africa exploited. When France was taking all the wealth out of Africa and taking it and building up this and building up that, they didn't care, because who are those blacks over there? Who are those Negroes? But they did not realize that the very same things that were used to exploit the blacks was used to exploit them too. They were put into little apartments. They wound up after they're retired. Their Medicare and whatever they're depending on, it keeps being subsidized. This is taken off, but they're comfortable. You know why? Because they look at themselves as better than those Negroes out there. Look at those, but look at you today. My point is this: do not wait until your back is against the wall to make agitations. When you see a brother, whether he be white, green, yellow, or whatever, suffering, sympathize and empathize, because it could well happen to you tomorrow. Anything to say, Hortensia?
Nah, I have nothing to say. I'm like you when the program started now. Nothing to say.
Well, let's play this bit of a clip, a light moment, and see if we can enjoy this light moment.
I just had a baby at the hospital. I'm asleep. The doctor is giving you 3 seconds to name the baby, and it is a girl. So what would you name the baby? 1, 2, 3.
Sarah.
Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah. Sarah's a
Who's
green-
Sarah? Who's Sarah? Who
Honey,
is Sarah?
what do you mean? Sarah's our child.
Oh, really? I've never met Sarah as my child
You
because
just
this is a
gave birth
hypothetical.
to Sarah.
But you very quickly said Sarah. Sarah is on your mind.
Do you
Sarah.
just trap me in this? Like, I don't get it.
Just tell me who she is.
What do you?
Just tell me
Sarah
who
is the person
I didn't
that
tell
the
you,
that.
I did not tell you to say Sarah.
You said name our kid. You said name our baby girl.
Right.
You get to name her in 3 seconds. First thing came to my mind, Sarah. Sarah's our child's name.
Really? Are we sure that's Sarah's child's name, or is Sarah somebody else that you know?
What?
Or knew?
What?
Or want to
okay,
know?
so you wanted me to say your name, Mary?
That would have been weird.
Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, we men, we never get it. Because I don't know what you're going to say, Hortensia, but you see how a simple conversation becomes a big complication? She asks the man, and she narrowed it down, you know. She says, I'm in the hospital, I'm going to get a baby. You only have X amount of time to give me an answer, so give me a name. And he gives a name, and then you see what happens?
Yeah, she's threatened by the name because she thinks Sarah is some other human being, which I find weird because you ask him to name the child. End of story. Why are you acting like he's doing something wrong?
But you know how often that happens in real life?
But why if I choose a name, it has to be associated with something bad? Because she's basically saying probably has a Sarah on the side.
I have heard other instances where something similar to that happens. A question is asked, a man gives an answer straight off the top of his head, and I've heard it go downhill. Also, who is she? Where's she? And he said, and don't say but because then she's going to say that, okay, you're stammering, so you're guilty, and so you can't you can't win. You understand?
Oh boy.
These are instances that show that usually when it comes to us men, in simple conversations, they blow up into bigger proportions than they should. Hello, caller.
Yes, guys, morning.
Morning, how are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good,
thanks. Fine, thank you.
Well, my husband and I here laughing because my husband said he should have, when she said who's Sarah, he should have said Sarah, Abraham's wife. Sarah from the Bible. End of story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, have a good day.
Yeah, you're getting like Greg now. Everything comes down to you think it's going to end the story. She's going to say, oh, well, no, you weren't around in quite biblical days.
Why you can't give it the benefit of the doubt? If he had to Sarah from the Bible, she might have cooled out.
No, she would have said, Sarah from the Bible, that's a cop-out.
But why can you not believe?
You were not alive when she's somebody you knew. I'm telling you, you didn't just come out with that out of your head. You know, so we can't win.
We can't. But if he had said Sarah from the Bible, maybe
Yeah, you're just grasping at straws, and straws never saved a drowning.
No, but that could have
Straws,
worked.
straws never
Cleona's
saved.
husband has a point.
Straws never saved a drowning individual.
Well, I would have told her, you asked me to name it. That's the quickest name that came to my mind.
But that is what he
and
said.
That's the end of the story. You
That
believe
is-
whatever
that is-
you want to
but
believe.
That is what he said. Okay.
But then if he told her that too, you believe whatever you want to believe, that would have been the next problem. Because you're being defensive.
You understand? So.
Yeah, to each his own.
Sometimes we as men,
Mhm.
it is better that we remain silent.
That is something.
Than say something, because
Oh, boy.
almost anything we say is held against us. That is why when you find yourself in a bit of a predicament, the law says you have the right to remain silent, because anything you said will be held against you in a court of law. Hello, hello, caller.
Yes, I just thought that's a nice way to close out a program.
Yeah, I think
We
so.
deal with some serious stuff.
Some heavy stuff
all
today.
morning, and,
Yeah.
Just like how we all used to have that Friday trivia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's nice to end the program. So maybe you could probably
Do more of
do it
that?
as a continuing feature. you know.
That's a good idea.
That was funny. That poor guy couldn't do it.
You understand?
But in all honesty, though, Quinn,
Yeah.
the wife has a point, you know. Why would he think of Sarah?
That's it.
But he could have said any name and she would have asked, why did you think of that?
Maybe it's the usual female intuition at work, and he got caught. You know?
Well, you can put it that way, but on his side, to his defense, he said, you asked me, and it was the first name that came to my mind.
Yeah, but
So whether
behind it. Why should it be Sarah? I agree.
But if it was Susie,
I see her point.
but no, I don't see her point, because if it was Susie, you'd be using the same scenario. If it was Jane, you would be so he could never win, no matter.
Yeah, because I think no matter what name he picked, she would have been that way.
Yeah.
Since it was enchantment,
Yes.
she was trying to get something out of him.
Well.
Because why would that be the first name he goes to?
That is why that is why I say you have a right to remain silent, because anything you say will be held against you. And let me tell you, I've been in relationships, and there are times when the woman I've been involved with asks me a question, and I just refused to answer because I knew where it was wind up, and she would say things like, "So you're not going to say anything?" And I just look at her, and she might say, "Oh, so blah, 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 blah," and I just look at her, and eventually it fades off into nothing, because anything that you say.
But Gwen, if he had said whatever his wife's name was, you think there'd still be an argument?
But you heard. But he asked
he
that.
has to be sharp enough. He has to be sharp enough.
But look, hindsight is 20/20 vision. We can always look at it from that perspective and say, but he said it. He said, so what if I had said your name and you heard what her answer was? That would have been weird. And then he said, and then he's at a loss. He said, I don't get it. And that's
No,
it.
she said that would be weird because she said that would have been weird because she would not have had an answer to it.
Well,
right?
you're just like Hortensio, grasping at straws, and a straw has never saved
but
anyone.
He asked our opinion, right? And we're giving it because there are many other things that could have happened, right?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, that was a nice little psychological battle between the sexes, I would say.
Yes.
Right, and usually the women win at it.
Yeah.
Because us men are too honest and forthright and.
So you're trying to say we women are dishonest bunch?
Now you've put your foot in your foot in your mouth now, and and you can't get out of this one now, you know. And I'm not going to even try to defend
I'm not
you.
even trying to. I am not even trying to. I take the consequences.
Okay, take care.
All right, then.
Yes.
Have a good one.
So that's how we're going to bring an end to the Island Tea for today. It has been a very, very interesting conversation, as he said, very, very hard-hitting and riveting. So it was fitting to, end
We
it
had
on
some
a light,
piping hot tea today.
on a light moment. Okay,
Yeah,
so
indeed.
so do take care. Any final words, Hortensia?
I had something here. Just give me 1 second, because I wanna share it. Don't postpone your joy. That's it. Because we have a lot of reasons to be upset, sad, whatever. But just don't postpone your joy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Corintige.
So you take care and have not only a great day, but a great life.
You too.
We're different. We're 98.9. 98.9. Win FM.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I come in Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, hover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the door, we are in the exit. Stairs might block up or full of people.